Hi there, it's Leann Ebert, and today I'm going to do a tutorial on how to achieve streak-free dark walls. Okay, so this is just theoretical as I've already obviously painted this wall dark before, but in my experience, application is key, usually 9/10 of the reason you get perfect results or don't. So the other factors though, I'm going to jump right into it. The first one is paint product. Personally and professionally, I use Benjamin Moore for many different reasons. But in this case, for doing a DIY project and a dark wall, it's not a bad idea to upgrade the paint. I would actually recommend using Benjamin Moore Aura. Yes, it's the most expensive, but there are benefits with it. So the first one is that there's more pigments in the paint, so you can achieve those dark, vibrant colors in less coats. And who doesn't want that, right? Okay, the other part is that there are self-leveling properties in Benjamin Moore Aura, so it's a lot more forgiving for the DIY user. Now, I have heard complaints about Aura and that it's too thick or that it dries too fast. So we have a solution for that. It is called Extender. Different manufacturers make it, even Benjamin Moore does. Now the point of this is that you put it into the paint, stir it up, and that it extends the dry time, so it keeps the paint wet longer. And it actually even says on here, helps eliminate brush and roller marks, which is a good idea. The other thing I forgot to mention is that when you're using a dark color, make sure to stir that up often because the pigments can settle to the bottom and then you might get uneven results, especially when you're cutting in compared to rolling. All right, so the next part is applicator tools. So the sleeve, it does matter. Please do not cheap out and go to the dollar store. Please buy good quality products. This one is a microfiber roller. It's quite popular, has been for many years now. There are pros and cons with this roller. The pros is that it picks up a lot more paint. Picks up, holds it, and then you can put more paint on the wall. This is especially great for professionals who want to get the job done faster with less, dipping time. The downside though is that it's microfiber, so all these different fibers, they're different lengths, they're different shapes and stuff. I mean, it feels nice, but if you look kind of close, I'm sorry, it got pet fur all over it. Depending on the direction, when you roll a wall, it's up and down, right? So if you can see this, when I'm going down, I'm smoothing it out. When I go up, I'm fluffing it up. So this actually does affect the texture that you leave on the wall with your paint. We have a solution for this, and it's in application technique, and I will show you a little bit later on how to do it properly. So, but for dark colored walls, I do recommend this roller sleeve. It is by Nour, N-O-U-R. It's a lint-free roller, and if you can see from the side, go down or up, it stays consistent. So that helps. But once again, you do want to apply it consistently, and I'll show you what I mean. The other thing that manufacturers recommend, and I do too, especially if animals in the house, is rinse and dry your rollers first. It says lint-free, but there's not really, right? So ensure that you wash and dry them before using them. The other thing that I completely recommend is a paint pole. You can get these at the hardware store or your local Benjamin Moore paint store. This one in particular, there's different sizes, but they're awesome. They're great. They attach to the bottom of the cage. This is called the cage. This is the sleeve, and this is the pole. It saves a lot of time and backache. I have seen DIY commercials, the ones. They're, going like this and stuff. And I'm like, man, just buy a pole. You look so much better. And trust me, it's worth the investment. It makes the job so much faster and quicker. Okay, so on to the application part. This is what we want. This is what we're here for, right? Okay, so the key is get a lot of paint on the roller. Don't skimp on this. We want to keep wet wall for consistency. So into my theoretical paint right now. Get a lot on there. You smear it out on the wall, and this is, this is the key or the goal is to get it on the wall first. And typically you'll have a tarp below. I have seen DIYers and professionals tape the tops of baseboards. This is not a bad idea, but use a good quality tape. Trust me, you will thank me for it. Okay, so get it on there. You typically have about a 3-foot margin of space before you have to dip again. So we're just going to work in that space and move on. So I typically go in the middle. We're just getting it on. Make it thick, get it on there. That's the whole idea. And then the key to get professional results, listen up. So don't dip this in again, but it has to be wet. You start in one corner, up and down, vertically. Move over by about half or 3/4. Do it again, up, down. Over, up, down. So that the fibers are going one direction for that final result. And that should get you consistent, smooth results with a dark colored wall. The other thing I want to talk about is recoat times. So this is especially important. Make sure you read and follow the directions on the paint product and look for recoat time. Benjamin Moore is really good about this. I think it's 2 hours, depending on the product, but read it for sure. So why is this important? Well, if you've gone around, and I have heard this technique where you roll twice and then cut twice, don't do that. Don't do that. Typically professionals will cut first and then roll. Sometimes if I'm only doing one room for a client, I might roll first just to get that drying, right? Get the process. Then I'll cut twice and then roll again. And keep in mind too, there's patching involved and stuff and spot priming. But for professional results, always end off with the roll, okay? And now the reason why you need to consider recoat times is that, let's just say you roll around once and it's still drying and you're just like, oh, it feels dry, I can do it again. No, not necessarily. So what happens is if you go around and then you do your second coat, you might actually reactivate that first coat and pull it off the wall. So really read and follow the directions. Trust me, you'll get professional results. And I think that's all I have to say. I hope I didn't forget anything, but if I did, send me questions. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching.